Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning from Munich, from wherever you join. I hope you all had a wonderful week so far. And we are delighted to have 200 registration for our event today. And we also have a very great panel that we will launch later today. And also a special announcement that we're very excited about to hear. And we want to learn here today a lot about IOD, IOV missions. And before we start, we'll actually share a small video to let people join, to give it a few more minutes and relax, lean back and enjoy the video.
Today, 2 space stations are orbiting the Earth. Within the next 5 years, there'll be about 3 additional private space stations, and by the end of this decade, there'll be about 5 to 7 space stations orbiting the Earth. There are about 150 missions planned to the Moon, and 2 lunar stations will be operational by the end of the decade. So, space exploration market is about to be multiplied by 6, from 25 billions today to about 150 billions in 2040. Why the space exploration race? Because we are at a technological turning point. When we know how to design, how to manufacture and how to operate spaceships, which not only are usable, but can be refueled in orbit with propellant coming from space resources. This enables us, humanity, to travel in space differently. This makes space exploration accessible. New markets for the Earth are being unleashed. For example, microgravity, which is an accelerator for pharmaceutical research and agriculture research. Space is also becoming the next entertainment destination, and on the governmental side, nations race to master access to strategic lunar resources like water and helium-3. Last but not least, as humans, our DNA is to explore and to unleash the potential of technologies we discover. In this new era, space transportation is the core enabler of a spacefaring nation. But space transportation is also its bottleneck. Indeed, today, there are only a few vehicles in the world that can carry cargo and/or humans to a space station. And this is the reason why, at the exploration company, we developed NIX, which is a modular vehicle, reusable, that can be refueled in orbit, starting with cargo and with the potential to carry humans. This means that in low Earth orbit, so around the Earth, NIX can be a robotic space station for about 10% of the price of a space station. NIX can also serve space stations, bringing cargo to them and then humans for about 50% of the price of the current competition. NIX can stay in orbit and remove threats when needed. And around the Moon, well, NIX can carry rovers, drillers, habitats to lunar surface. NIX can act as a fast last-mile delivery solutions, complementing the very big Starship from SpaceX. NIX can serve the lunar gateway, bringing cargo and then humans. And would it be from the Moon or from the low Earth orbit, NIX comes back and is reused. So thanks to this modularity, at the exploration company we offer more services for a lower price than our competition. Moreover, we are the first in the world to use green propellant and to share our operating system, which is open source. Our ambition is to become a global leader with European roots. Join us in our mission to democratize space exploration.
All right, welcome everyone to our today's session. Now we have more people joined us during the call. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the name of the exploration company, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our second event of this year, breaking down the barriers of in-orbit demonstration. And we want to demonstrate to you today that we make it easy to test your technology in space. And with me, I have a great panel that's joining me with Bill McLamb, Christoph Figes, and Pradeep Basu. But before we start, I would like to give you a quick intro to the etiquette and the agenda. First of all, would like to inform you that we will record this meeting, so later on you will have access to it on our YouTube channel. Please turn on the camera if possible. It's always nice to see the faces behind the cameras, and please keep yourself muted. Use also the reactions functions if you would like to speak up. And of course, you're invited to put your questions into the Q&A functionality of Zoom. And also please direct the question always directly to a person that you would like to ask. In the first 5 minutes, we are a bit ahead of time. We have the welcome and intro, which we are now past. We will have Nashwa and Naimi, our colleague, giving you more details on the technical capabilities of Mission Odyssey. Then we will have a 20 minutes panel discussion on the topic of in-orbit demonstration. And then we will explain you actually how you can fly on Mission Odyssey and how will it work together with Pablo. And then in the very last 10 minutes, we will open the room, the stage to you so that you can actually ask your questions and we will provide your answers. But before we begin, I would like to introduce you to Geraldine Naja, the Director of Commercialization, Industry and Procurement from the European Space Agency, and also Hélène Huby, our CEO and co-founder of the exploration company, who would like to perform a special announcement. And therefore would like to welcome Geraldine. Maybe you can unmute yourself, and Hélène, and I would try to highlight you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you. And dear participants, hello from ESTEC, where I am now. We just saw in the beautiful video that you showed that indeed the exploration company will democratize space exploration for space and non-space industry. But actually, the exploration company is already working on a test mission called Mission Possible that will already offer a microgravity platform for pioneer customers to be launched at the end of 2024. On the ESA side, as we have outlined in our Agenda 25, we have decided to boost the commercialization of space and to support the development of a new space European ecosystem. We have many initiatives for incubation, acceleration, access to funding, but also we aim to provide IOD, IOV opportunities in orbit demonstration and validation, and also to support new ways of working with industry a la new space, such as through anchor tenant or service contracts. So it is my pleasure to announce today, together with Hélène, of course, that ESA has decided to procure the Mission Possible flight for 20 kilograms of payload. This opportunity will be offered to the two winners of the competition organized by ESO, which also is the manager of the BIC in Bavaria, known well to the exploration company, I believe. And this competition will be open to ESA SMEs, startups, research organizations. The two winners of this competition will receive a flight for their payload of 10 kilograms each. And why do we do that? Simply because with that, we support, first of all, talent in Europe, both the exploration companies, but also all you people attending the event, all the startups, you are European talents that ESA must invest in and retain in Europe. Second reason, access to capital. We believe that giving the winners of this competition the chance to fly their payload on Mission Possible, this will accelerate the deployment of their technology, of their concept, and demonstrate its performance. But this will also be an important step, I think, for the exploration company. So with this, we boost the overall competitiveness of both the exploration company and the European startups winning the award. And finally, fast innovation. We need to speed up innovation cycles in Europe. This is key for the success of Europe in new space. And one of the ways to achieve this is faster, more frequent in-orbit demonstration services. So with that, I believe that this small competition will pave the way. And by the way, this is also a teaser for a larger upcoming opportunity. We will have a large IOD, IOV call under our new scale-up program, which was decided and subscribed by European space ministers last November. But this is for the next step. For the time being, we are very happy to have this small competition and to be procuring Mission Possible as a superb prize for 2 European SMEs or startups. So stay tuned, and thank you to Hélène and the Exploration Company for making this possible. Thank you.
Yeah, Geraldine, thank you very much in the name of all the Exploration Company team. Thank you very much for ESA's trust. I wanted to perhaps to pass 3 main messages here. The first is, and I said that already, a very big thank you to ESA. ESA has been on our side, I think, since the very beginning of the company. And we have the pleasure to fly on Mission Possible. These are competitions that we announced today, so very big announcement for us. And also another ESA payload, as well as DLR payload and CNES payload. So I'm super happy to see that we are heavily supported by the agencies from our mother countries, starting with Europe. We are a European company, and Germany and France. The second message I want to pass, and this is more like for you in the public, willing potentially to fly something with us. I think Geraldine said it's critical for the European space industry to be able to innovate faster. And having discussed with people, you know, at SpaceX, for example, SpaceX is doing Dragon as a demonstration platform for new technologies. And ESA has set up a wonderful program for IOV, IOD. We're going to fly to station, but we also can free fly. Mission Possible is our first demonstration for that. In 2026, we're going to fly Mission Odyssey. That's going to be a free flying vehicle. And that can be for each of you, where you come from. And we have here in the speakers, people coming not only from Europe, but also from India. So where you come from, the platform to basically test, demonstrate your technology. And you'll see also with Christophe figures that what you can test is just not a microgravity experiment, just not a thrusters, just not perhaps a small payload, but you can think big. Because we have a lot of volume in our vehicle, meaning we can really demonstrate not only a technology, but a whole subsystem, or even we can demonstrate new operations in orbit. So the way to think about in-orbit demonstration can be, hey, I want to qualify super fast my technology, and this is to increase the pace of innovation here in Europe. But also, hey, I want to demonstrate a new kind of in-orbit service, and I'm going to use the vehicle as a platform to demonstrate this new kind of in-orbit services. So that was my second message. And I think the third one, and I think Pablo is going to provide here more details, we are a startup. So meaning one of core DNA, and this is part of our mission, is to democratize space exploration, to make it affordable, sustainable, open. And affordable means the price point has to be like accessible for everyone. So I'm happy to say that I think, at least from my knowledge, we have the lowest price point on the market. So making really this access to demonstrating technology, in-orbit demonstration, accessible to everyone. And if in the process that you're going to experience with us, I'm asking here to the agencies present here, but also like to you, potential customers for our Mission Odyssey in 2026, you see things we still need to improve, to industrialize. Don't hesitate, give us feedback, because the efficiency and the affordability are core of our DNA. So I wish you a great event. Again, thank you so much to ESA for their trust, and also special thanks to ESA BIC, who trusted us. I think the company was a few days old when we were selected by ESA BIC Bavaria to be one of the companies supported by ESA. So without their trust, we wouldn't be there today. So again, thank you very much. And thank you very, Geraldine, for your trust. Very much appreciated. Hand over to you, Victor.
Thank you very much, Hélène. Thank you very much, Geraldine. We're really, really excited to share this news today to everyone, and we're looking forward to all the applications. So maybe 1-2 sentences from you, Daniela. I don't know, you wanted to highlight something as well from AZO, from the organization? If not,
yes.
Okay.
Only also to express my thanks and our excitement. Thank you for Geraldine and her whole team, and of course Hélène, Victor, and the whole Exploration Company team. We're very excited. We're only starting, so we will be all over the place in the next weeks, and we really hope to make some difference here with this as a small competition. But let's start small. We can become bigger and successful together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Very well said. And I also shared with you the link in the chat, so you have access to it. And then I would like to introduce you to our next speaker, Najwa Naimi, who is our lead vehicle design and product strategy at the Exploration Company. And I hand over to you, Najwa.
Yes, thanks a lot, Victor, and hello, everyone. So my name is Najwa, and I am the mechanical and thermal architect of NIX. So I'm leading a team of talented designers, mechanical, thermal, and aerothermal engineers who are working hard every day to shape NIX and make it real. And I'm also in charge of product strategy. So basically, I'm the technical focal point for our customers to make sure that the product we're developing are fully in line with the needs of the market. So today, I would like to introduce you to our NIX Earth vehicle in its first configuration. So the configuration for the maiden flight that we named Mission Odyssey that is planned in 2026. And here, as you can see in the background, we have the vehicle views. So for this mission, NIX will be free flying around the Earth in low Earth orbit. And will serve as a mini space station to be able to host a wide range of microgravity experiments, in-orbit demonstration, and a lot of lab and food processing pharmaceutical experiments, and also can be a platform for the expression of art and entertainment goals. So here a little bit on, let's say, the technical side. So as you can see on the view here, NIX is made of two parts. So you have the part on the right that is the capsule. So this would be the part that will be returning to Earth. And inside of this capsule, we'll have mainly the payloads that will be able to be recovered and then handed back over to our customers after recovery. And on the left side of the picture, you have the service module. And so here you can see the solar panels. The service module is basically here to ensure the thermal control and the power management during the long duration of this mission. So now if we talk about the mission, so the typical mission profile will be that will be sent by the launcher. Here with NIX, we're launcher agnostic, so it means that we'll have a lot of opportunities to launch. So it will be an easy access to space and quite flexible. And we will be separated from the launcher, injected in low Earth orbit, and then we will be able to stay autonomously in orbit for up to 2 months. We have the capacity to host up to 4 tons of payloads on board, and we will have a fully automated platform. And we are open for sales. So of course, if anyone is interested here, we are more than available to answer your questions. We have already the support of some partners that you might know, so among them NanoHacks, Comat, and Yuri, and we have also the support. So we have seen this with Geraldine. Thanks again to Isa for the support, but we also have support for CNAS and DLR with already very strong discussions for contracts also on NIX Earth. And then in the future, the idea is to, of course, evolve into the operational version of NIX, which will be able to deliver cargo to space station with docking. So to the next slide, please, Victor, thanks a lot. So what do we offer with NIX? So basically, before NIX, if you want to send something to space, you need to have a very large amount of money. You need to be very patient because you know that having a slot on the ISS is quite long. And also you need to cope with a lot of constraints and safety requirements. Here with NIX, we want to change this, let's say, status quo, and we want to provide an easy access to space, meaning that we'll have regular flights. We have an automated platform that will be able to provide you with also high flexibility in terms of recovery of the payloads. As Helen was mentioning, we're proposing a price today that is the lowest on the market, and this still while providing a high quality and one of the most important recovery mass today offered on the market. And here we are providing this NIX platform to unleash your imagination. Why? Because actually you will have a lot less constraints than on the current platform out there. So you will have more mass, more volume, you will have more connectivity, you will have also less constraints because the first flights will not be human flights. So in terms of safety requirements, you can indeed think quite big and really unleash your imagination to get to your dream experience. To the next slide. Thanks a lot. So now a little bit about the technical capacity that we are offering. So as I was saying, we have two parts in Nyx. We have one part that is the capsule, so on the right side of the picture, which is a pressurized environment. In there, we can provide a capacity for the payloads of 2.5 tons and a volume that is around 2 meters cubed. And on the service module, we also have the possibility to provide unpressurized compartment for payloads up to 1.5 tons and 6 meters cubed. And here the recovery the recovery mass will be 2.5 tons because actually the full capsule is getting back on Earth. We will provide a microgravity environment that will be similar to ISS. Even potentially better because we will not have all the maneuvers that the ISS has to perform to keep on the orbit. Of course, we'll have maneuvers, but normally they should be, let's say, way shorter. And as already explained, we'll have full recovery of the capsule. Then on the left side of the slide, you see that we're providing an Ethernet interface, and we're providing a communication link. So we are providing uplink and downlink with low data rate for L status and commands. So you will be basically able to connect with your payload and to trigger operations from the ground, and also will be able to provide you with L status during the flight. And in terms of downlink, we also provide a high data rate downlink with up to 300 megabytes per second during 2 slots per day. And also on the data side, we provide a storage for all customers that will be up to 10 gigabytes. Also on the, let's say, electrical side, we provide an overall power of 750 watts that will have to be, let's say, optimized and shared between our customers. And we have a 28-volt continuous voltage interface. In terms of mechanical and thermal aspects, so we will have on board the capsule, let's say, attitude control system that will enable us to smoothen the heat loss and the G loss during re-entry so that our customers have the payload comfort they need. And we'll have a controlled thermal environment on board, which will enable you to stay around the 20 degrees that a lot of experiments are looking for. Of course, will be reusable. That's the target, and this is only the first step until we evolve until the docking to the space stations. And so just to give you an overview of, let's say, all the use cases that we could serve with Nyx, I will not go through all of them one by one, but what I can do is to give you already some examples of real use cases that we have seen with Mission Possible. That is the first demonstrator that we're about to launch in 2024, and that is already fully booked. But basically, we have on board in-orbit demonstration regarding the development, for example, of new thermal control systems that need to be demonstrated in orbit. We have also rovers and mechanisms that need to be triggered and deployed with microgravity environment to see if everything is working well. We have also on board some incubators for lab experiences. So basically, with Nyx Earth, we'll be able also to provide life science experiences. And something that is also quite interesting is that we are also able to look at a lot of different measurements. So basically, if you want to measure radiations, or if you want to measure thermal environment, or even level of vacuum or level of microgravity, this is also a very good platform for this. And then I think that it's back to you, John.
Victor, But thank you so much, Nashwa. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for giving more details. I would like to invite the audience, use the question and answer functionality of Zoom. I see there's already one question in there, and then we will look at it at the very end of the event. So thanks a lot, Nashwa. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to our panelists. We have with us Bill McLamp, who is the CEO and founder of Low Earth Orbit Biosciences. We have Christoph Figus, who is the head of advanced concepts and robotics at Airbus Defence and Space, and Prateep Basu, who is the CEO and founder of Satsur. So we'll just stop sharing my screen so that I can see you as well here in the call. And I hope, Yanis, you can help me to spotlight our panelists. We have Prateep here. Exactly. Perfect. So Prateep, Christoph, Bill, can you hear us?
Yes.
Great. So first of all, thank you so much for being with us. It's really a pleasure that you take the time to share a bit your point of view about in-orbit technology demonstration, what your plans are, where you see the future, what currently the problems are. And I think that's really interesting for the audience. I would like to start quickly with one sentence that you introduce yourself, actually. And so I would just kick it off with you, Bill. What would be the best way to describe you in one sentence?
To describe me, I'm a lifelong, career-wise, a space enthusiast, and involved in the development, integration, and management of spaceflight experiments on Space Shuttle and International Space Station, and looking to provide affordable solutions to conduct research and development in microgravity to support the growth of a commercial LEO economy.
Thank you very much, Bill. Over to you, Christoph. What would be one sentence to describe you?
I'm there to make the future possible.
That's very nice. That's very nice. And now over to you, Prateep.
Well, one sentence description would be, I'm Prateep, and I have been on a crusade to solve the toughest problems on Earth using data from space.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much for keeping it in one sentence. It's a challenging task, but it's very refreshing to hear it from that point of view. I would like to start with the very first question to give a bit the audience an overview of what your plans currently are on your roadmap, let's say, in orbit demonstration, and why do you actually need to do in-orbit technology demonstration? Maybe with you, Christoph.
So in Airbus, we are developing a lot of technology for space application, and some of them are quite sensitive to space environment. So for example, as explained before, thermal hardware, where we are using fluids in microgravity, in capillary behavior in order, for example, to transport heat. And we need most of the time to demonstrate the performances of the technology. So in the past, we used photon capsules or photon spaceship from Russian that was, let's say, a barter between Europe and Russian. In order to perform such demonstration, we are lacking now this type of opportunity, but we are definitely looking to opportunities in order to make fly our new technology. So this is an example. But you can see behind me, we plan to have a robotic factory in space, and this is typically the type of opportunity that offer the exploration company.
Thank you, Christoph. Prateep, what is on your roadmap, and why do you need to perform in-orbit technology demonstration?
So in-orbit demonstration of technology is very important for us at SatSure, because we are actually building payloads ground up, and the kind of platform exploration company is building, it helps us to iterate faster at a lower cost. I think that's very important, to be agile in this kind of space hardware development. And when you are doing tough things like completely new payload development such as ourselves, I think in-orbit demonstrations like what exploration company provides is an exciting opportunity for a company like us.
Thank you, Prateep, for sharing your view. And last but not least, Bill, It's also a pleasure to have your technology on board of Mission Possible next year. Maybe you want to share a bit like the kind of technology demonstration you want to perform and why you want to do that.
Okay. Well, first, the opportunity for these proof of concept studies does will allow us to demonstrate the functionality of subsystems that will be part of a more comprehensive platform for future flights to reduce the risk to success on those flights. My ultimate goal with my company is to develop a variety of capabilities for an orbital biosciences laboratory. So for an opportunity for a fast to flight commercial lab to LEO alternative for R&D on orbiting platforms. And as far as the type of tests, with an emphasis on life sciences, there are a lot of often comprised of fluid systems, so requiring the delivery and control of these fluids. So we'll be evaluating the operation and control of some novel fluid handling systems and demonstrating remote operation and control, which will be necessary since we'll need automated systems for these uncrewed opportunities.
All right, thank you very much for sharing this. My next question goes towards then the requirements of your application. Like, do you have specific requirements that make it difficult to actually test in orbit and microgravity? Like, I don't know, maybe there's human interaction necessary, or you have like huge power needs. Prateep, is there anything that you could share, like in terms of the requirements that your applications need?
Yeah, so for us, the stability of the platform is critical, and in a way, the propulsion system that the exploration company is using in its mission, it fits the requirement to achieve that kind of platform stability. Obviously, propulsion and the ADCS, and it helps us to, again, as I said, iterate on our design faster, because we instead of launching the entire satellite and learning from some failures there, when we have these specifications met through in-orbit demonstration platform like exploration companies, it makes life easier.
That's nice to hear. That's what we want to show here, that it makes life easy. For you, Bill, do you have specific requirements that are like, that makes it so special that you need to do this in space and you cannot perform it on Earth?
Yes, well, one of the things that's a benefit of this flight is the extended duration of microgravity in relation to, say, parabolic or suborbital flights. When you're looking at biological processes, having that clean microgravity environment over a longer duration, it's certainly a benefit. And I think having the ability for good connectivity to your systems for control and monitoring, particularly for biological systems, although for this first flight won't involve any biology, but we'll be evaluating the systems that will support it.
All right, thanks a lot. And Christoph, also on your side, like Airbus, of course, is like not just one dedicated topic. It's really a big world that you're looking at. So do you see specific requirements, or what is your experience with the requirements for in orbit?
So I would say, as said by my colleagues, gravity condition and duration. So we are looking for some long duration flight. Data transfer, because what we expect to do tomorrow needs a lot of data. And I would say power and GNC, avionics, because we are looking for some powerful experiment, and we are looking also to a very good avionic in order to maintain and control the operation we plan to do.
All right, thank you very much for sharing this. The next question is a bit more, I would say, looking towards the future, because I would like to ask you to share a bit your point of view. Where do you actually see like the future of technology demonstrations in space, really for space applications? Today, we understood it's not that simple, it's not that easy to actually get technology in there, but do you kind of have a wish list? Would you say, okay, this is what I would like to see happening in the upcoming few years? And this is how I foresee, this is how I envision actually the future for demonstrating technology in orbit. And I will start with Bill in this case.
Okay, the future of in-orbit technology demonstrations. I think there'll always be a value, as I briefly mentioned before, reducing the risk to success of the more comprehensive projects that are to follow. I think the reusable spacecraft and the higher cadence of flights at a reasonable cost are certainly allows for reproducible, repeatable, reproducible results to proceed more rapidly to a final solution for your projects and programs.
Thank you, Bill. Christoph, on your side, what do you envision for the future?
So I think there would be a real development of the low Earth orbit space economy, and in-orbit demonstration will be certainly a topic, a clear topic. For me, we need to have a global approach on the topic. So certainly more about logistic and infrastructure in total. So having capacity to have infrastructure to perform in-orbit demonstration for long duration, and having a logistic to bring back space for Earth or Earth for space. So bilateral, but in one way it can be, let's say, experiment. In the other way, it can be goods that could be generated in space. So all this will create a new economy, and certainly for that a lot of opportunity of in-orbit demonstration.
Thanks a lot, Christoph. Very nice vision. And on your side, Pradeep.
Well, the vision for in-orbit demonstration that I have is that it should be as easy as parabolic, flights that we have with aircraft, and being able to return, refurbish, and launch again for quicker iterations at a fraction of the cost that's today. And I think the exploration company is actually on that path only. The speed at which they had developed the first mission definitely proves that the vision that at least I am envisioning, that exploration companies is definitely going to meet it. I also, one more thing to add would be that such demonstrations, in-orbit demonstrations, should be plug and play access. It should be like a plug and play accessible workbench, and it should be arrived with uniform standard and SOPs. So I think that's very important to achieve these kind of performance metrics. But hopefully we'll do that before the end of the decade.
Thank you very much. I think there were really interesting points. On the one hand, I hear like the cadence from Bill, like more frequent flights, make it cheaper, the global collaboration and the ecosystem building from Christoph, and on your side, plug and play, which also sounds very interesting. Looking at the time, I would have like one last question, would be like considering this, and also I know from the audience and the registrations, we have like young entrepreneurs with us who just founded the startup. Do you have any advice on your side, valuable advice, like if it goes to like in-orbit tech demonstration, prototyping, like from your point of view, like what should they do? What should they start with? And then I would guide this question to Christoph.
What should they do? I think it's really an experience to perform in-orbit demonstration. So I did perform several ones in my career. I think you need to have opportunity to exchange with a colleague in order to learn about that, how to master and all these type of things, because sometimes space is hard, and I have seen a lot of people that did perform experiment, invest a lot of time, and at the end of the day, it did not work. So of course, you will fail, you will learn, you will not have success all the time. So this is the magic of the experiment. But I think exchange with people that have already experimented this type of thing, challenge also the input of your career, because it's also an opportunity to learn and to express your need, and sometimes you can have a good a good response, a good answer. So in the past, this was the case on the past flight I did perform. So this is what I would say. Of
Thank you very
course,
much.
you need to accept failure.
Thank you very much. I think it's very, very insightful. Prateep, you have some good advice?
Well, from a advice point of view, well, I do have quite a few, but perhaps for the benefit of the audience, I would say, we need to prove for a purpose and not validating milestones. Every tech has its journey, but trying to do demos burns a lot of cash. Knowing the right balance between maturity and de-risking strategies is important for a growing startup.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. And I know you're also in this situation, so it's also very valuable to hear, from your point of view, building this company, like what you perceive. Yeah. And Bill, last but not least, your word on an advice.
Yes, I would say partner with those that share your passion, and focus on realistic goals with an achievable timeline and budget for these proof of concept flights, and focus on quantifiable performance results.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think that brings it very much to the point. Really appreciate it. Also looking at the time, I will close the panel here, and I would like to say thank you very much, Christoph, Prateep, Bill, for taking the time, sharing your experience, sharing your insights. At least I think it was very interesting for me, and also I hope for the audience to hear from you and what your plans are. And in order to continue, I would just continue sharing my screen, and we will actually share with you how you will be able to fly on demonstration, if you want to do that, on our mission Odyssey. And this I would lead here to Pablo.
Victor, if you allow me,
yes,
Odyssey is happening in 26, and the competition of ESA is happening on the Mission Possible that we fly in 24. And I just want to pass the message to the audience that we are today on track. We've been on track, cash and planning since company creation, so that's part of our DNA. And so on 24, this is fully booked already. So no possibility anymore to book any experiment with us, but you can participate to ESA competition so that perhaps your experiments or in-orbit demonstration can fly with us in 24. So that's opportunity number one. And then opportunity number two, and floor is yours, Pablo, is the Mission Odyssey that's going to fly in 26.
Thanks a lot, Ellen. Perfect handover. And now over to you, Pablo.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Pablo Lari. I'm leading the mission sales, and as Ellen just said, and Victor, once Najwa has told you what you can do with us technically, and also you have heard the experiences of Christophe, Pradeep, and Bill. I think it's a good moment to let you know how we can help you with that last mile for getting under contract for our mission next mission Odyssey, which would be, as Ellen said, right after Mission Possible. So if you can, yeah. So thanks, Victor. So we have like three main axes to help you advancing a little bit the getting under contract for your in-orbit demonstration. So basically this is done like 2 years in advance. Right now we are like about 3 years advance of the launch date. So to help you with that advance, or to do that contract ahead of time, we have like three main axes. The first one is we make it affordable. So if you are able to book your experiment or your in-orbit validation activity with us by June this year, we'd be able to give you these excellent prices that you can see in screen. So 25K per kilo and 2 U's for pressurized payloads, and 20,000 euros per kilo and 2 U's for unpressurized payloads. Okay, so this is excellent. Price is probably like between one half and 1/3 the price that you can find there for a similar service. So it's really a unique opportunity. And then how we do that to make it easy for you to advance is that we are proposing a two-step approach. Okay, so when you get start getting the contract, we need to check, of course, the technical requirements. Everything's what we can do and what we can do what you're proposing. We look for the volume and the mass, and we derive the associated price. So this is standard, and then we define a payment schedule along this year that we are working ahead of time, right? So so you'd be paying 7% at booking, which would be at in September this year. Then we will have another payment in December at the end of the year, also 7%. And then we'll have a last payment in June 2024, also 7%, before going to the final agreement in September 2024, which would be more or less the timing that you'd be doing nominally, right? With this, you freeze this price, which we are announcing. And then, well, what's the drawback of doing things ahead? Well, that you are, taking the risk and so on. So in order to reduce that risk, we are giving this flexibility. So what we are proposing is that, if between step 1 and step 2, so basically during 2023 and, the 3 first quarter of 2024, if for any reason, your development, your experiment, your product, whatever, has a delay or something, or your plans changes, and you wanna, move to a further moment, your flight and your activity, then you ask us, and we will by contract be obliged, or we be happy, in fact, to look for another moment, closer to your needs in a subsequent mission. And the other situation would be that it's the opposite, that for any reason we want to delay the mission or something during that period that I just mentioned. So in that case, we'd propose you the new date. If that date is okay for you, then perfect. And if not, we'd be ready to pay you back, to reimburse all the payments that we have done until that moment. Okay. So these are the 3 main advantages or assets that we are proposing in order to make it easier for you to advance a little bit the contracting process. And I think that's it. Back to you, Victor. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Pablo, for explaining all the process, how we bring people, experiments into Mission Odyssey. And here on the next slide, I will share with you the contact details of Pablo, but also the rest of the team. Pierre Foucault, who is our Chief Space and Defense Revenue Officer, and Dana Baki, who is our Chief Commercial Officer. You will have access to the slides later on, and of course, also you will see it then on our YouTube channel. And then I would like to thank, first of all, Bill, Christoph, Prateep, also Geraldine, Hélène, Najwa, and Pablo, and also to you, to the audience, for your attention and for being part of this session. And I would like to take the time now to give the room to you, to the audience, to ask your questions. I see that there's already some questions in the Q&A field. Feel free to still put them questions in there. We can also vote for questions, and then I will just open up now the questions and we will have a look.
Just if we don't have enough time to answer all the questions, we will take a screenshot of the questions and we'll answer to you in written. So don't be worried if your question is not answered right now.
Thanks, Hélène. Thanks, Hélène. And of course, you can always reach out to one of our colleagues and we will have a meeting with you. So first question, Christopher O'Boyle, thank you very much. Hi, can you explain how are you generating continuous power for the capsule? So I think this is a very good question that would go to Najwa.
Yes, thanks, Victor. So a very good question indeed. So we're using the solar panels that you have seen on the walls of the service module. And when we are experiencing eclipse, then we switch on our batteries.
Thank you, Najwa. I hope this answers the question to Christophe, but of course you can still post another question. Let's go to the next one, Clément Gouchon. Thank you very much for your question. Do you also dissipate the thermal of your customer's payload? I guess, again, Najwa, this goes to you.
Yeah. So indeed, Clément, we plan to dissipate the thermal of our payloads. So basically, whether we use cold plates or let's say closed loops. But yeah, that's basically the plan, and that's for sure what you will need to go through this kind of mission durations.
All right, now we go over to Bruno Paglicia. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Thank you for your question. What would be the maximum data you can send back? 300 megabits per second twice a day, but what are the transmission duration? Is it also a question for you, Najwa?
Yes. So Bruno, good question. And indeed, I didn't precise the transmission duration. So the duration is 15 minutes twice per day. So then it will be 300 megabytes times, the two slots per day times the 15 minutes. So it should be something around 300 gigabytes, something like this overall on the mission for the 2 months.
And perhaps just a precision, all the figures provided by Najwa are standard services corresponding to the price that was presented by Pablo. Of course, if there is special requirements, special needs, we can probably accommodate, and then the price most probably going to be a little bit different. So this is not, let's say, a capacity or technical problem. It's more like we want to give you what's the standard services for that price.
Thank you, Hélène. Yeah. Next question from William Bierch. What is your intended launch option from a European perspective beyond Ariane 6, which is highly likely not to be a cost-competitive launcher? What else do you see as other alternatives, or by agnostic, do you mean SpaceX agnostic? I would propose this question to Hélène.
Yeah, so by launcher agnostic, it means we can launch with SpaceX. And by the way, the 24 Mission Possible is going to be launched with SpaceX. So we have, of course, SpaceX compatible. We're also compatible with Ariane 6. We also are compatible with GSLV, so the Indian heavy lift launcher, and we plan to be compatible with Rocket Lab Neutron and Relativity Space, the big launcher.
Thank you, Hélène. Next question from Hussein Bukhari. Thank you for the question. Is the price similar for Odyssey and Possible? What is the increase of price for Mission Odyssey onwards? So first, I can answer the first question, and then I would leave the second question to Pablo or Hélène. The first question, Odyssey and Possible, that's not the similar price. So we actually, as you have seen, it's a smaller, shorter mission with Mission Possible. We have offered this in the very beginning as an early bird price for about 1,500 euro per kilogram, and at the later stage increased it to 5,000 euro per kilogram, and at the very last stage we had 10,000 euro per kilogram. So we had different steps in between. And as you have seen, Mission Odyssey is at the price starting at 20,000 euro per kilogram for the unpressurized and 25,000 euro per kilogram for the pressurized. And then the second question, I would leave it to Pablo or Hélène.
Yeah, I think, Victor, you explained quite well the price. I think what you've, perhaps to give some order of magnitude, if you send a payload to ISS today, you have to pay around about 100,000 euro per kilogram to perform an experiment and then have it back. So this 2025 is actually quite affordable on the market. With the price we have quoted today is a price basically for if you book, as was explained by Pablo, now up to September 23. What we've experienced with Mission Possible, it's fully booked today by clients, is that there was a lot of demand. And the mission is fully booked, is going to fly in 2 years from now, right? Even less than 2 years from now. So if there is a lot of demand, we may indeed increase the price step by step. So that's why also we wanted to provide you with this, let's say, early bird opportunity. But we are not yet, there, what's going to be the price in 1 year or 2 years, because we're still in a startup learning phase, I would say. I can just share with you the data from the past that we've seen a big demand for Mission Impossible, more than what we were expecting, actually. And so at the end, we decided to increase the price because we had this capability and there was basically too much demand for the capacity of the vehicle. So if the same happens for Mission Odyssey, we will, of course, do that. And for the time being, the price is, as explained by Pablo, guaranteed up to September 23.
Thank you, Hélène. The next question is about the capacity and about filling it up with 4 tons on a regular basis. How much are they willing to pay for the service? So regarding the business plan, I would say, have space agencies committed to becoming an anchor customer? I would also leave this question to you, Hélène.
Yeah, so the capacity basically has been designed together with clients. We've been discussing with space agencies around the world. We've been discussing with private space stations because the core of our business is, of course, to bring cargo and then hopefully in the second step humans to space stations. So what we have in mind is to have every year a regular in-orbit demonstration, free flying opportunity for clients like you who would like to demonstrate technologies and also to potentially perform in-orbit services as a, let's say, first try. So if you have some operations you'd like to demonstrate in orbit, if you have some technology you'd like to fly, there'll be once per year this opportunity to fly with us. On top of that, we plan to fly several times per year to go to stations. We have today the ISS, we have the Chinese space stations, tomorrow there'll be some private space stations. So we've based basically the performance of the vehicle on discussions with stations, how much cargo flight they need per year, and what's the up mass and down mass that they need. And we've signed already LOIs with all the top private space stations up there. Coming back to the anchor client, you may know that ESA is currently in a barter agreement with NASA, but we are working actually together with ESA to see how ESA could become the first client for a mission to ISS that we plan to perform in 2027. So hopefully more to come soon, but nothing to be announced yet.
Thank you very much, Hélène, for the very clear answer. Thank you also very much to all the questions. I'm just looking at the time and considering the time, respecting the time, we will answer back to your questions. Alexi, Antonio, Hussein, and Peter, thank you very much for this. We will take care of it and we will answer you back as we have now through the registration, also your email address. I hope that's okay for you. And thanks a lot for asking the questions. Coming towards the end, I would just like to highlight again the opportunity for the ESO Payload Masters. This is a great opportunity for you to fly technology, test technology next year on our Mission Possible mission. So the deadline of the application is on the 30th of April. I've sent the link into the chat and also you can find it here and on LinkedIn and on our websites. And we will also organize a webinar in the upcoming weeks where you can actually ask some questions about this. This is just a view how the registration looks like and the database where you then actually submit your application. And then I would like to say thank you very much. I would like to say thanks to our panelists, Bill, Christophe, and Prateep, as well to the team behind the scenes, Rona and Yanis, who made this possible. It's always not easy, this technical setups, but I'm happy to have a great team that supports us here. And we're going to share the video, as I mentioned, on our YouTube channel. And we would be also happy to receive feedback from you. So when you leave this call, you will receive, let's say, a pop-up window with some questions. And we would really appreciate if you could give us a feedback, how you like the event, what we can do better in the future, what topics we should address in the future. And we're more than happy to do so. And so I will leave you to this evening. I say thank you very much and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.